Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 29th of March 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning trading session where we're gonna have a look at the markets. Of course, also welcome to the last trading day for March, and today we're gonna quickly have a look at a few charts, a few instruments, as always, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. There's always a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, let's jump into the charts. And the first one I want to touch on here is Nikkei. Now, I was talking about Nikkei in one of my previous videos, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this little range that the Japanese index is currently stuck in. So this week, basically on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, I was talking about this one. I was telling you guys to keep on watching these two levels here near the 21,000, in a way the psychological 21,000 and the 21,875 area, approximately there. So basically, before we could, let's say, consider any like medium or maybe near-term directional move here, we would like to see a nice good break either through the upper side here of this little range that we've got here, and then we will consider areas like the 22,000 area, and then of course the 22,225 and above. But of course, for now, the index is currently stuck here, and of course this is what we're gonna be monitoring. I do understand it's quite a big of a range here, but to be honest, it's quite difficult because you can see that, for example, on the 26th, it was trading above these levels that I've just had marked here. It was trading around the 21,340 level, slightly above that, but it kind of quickly got back down again and traveled lower, but then again found its good support near this 21,000 level, from which it kind of rebounded, and now it's currently sitting here. Of course, the Japanese market has closed already, so in a way you could continue watching the cash indices that could be reacting to the, of course, European and the US ones. So basically, for now, long story short, guys, we're still looking at this range. We're still looking for that break here below the 21,000 in order to consider further declines. But for now, as long as it's going to stay here, we will kind of remain somewhat neutral. In a way, what you could also do here is, of course, try to monitor this level here, this peak that we saw here on the 26th of March. That was approximately around the 21,450 level. So in a way, if we would see a nice good push above the 21,450 level. Certainly, from the very short-term perspective, we could maybe consider an uprise here towards this upper bound of the range. But again, we'll still kind of remain somewhat neutral on this one and continue observing the price action within this range. So keep your eyes on this one. Keep your eyes on some of these key support and resistance levels, and yep, we'll just take it from there. Platinum, one of my favorite precious metals here. Basically yesterday sold off nicely together with gold and silver, but found good support near this tentative upside support line. Of course, you can see that there is a bit of an undershoot here, but still this line here, it's a bit of a tentative one because, like I said, you could in a way draw it this way or even that way, but I'm gonna stick to this one because here it has a little bit more touches, so I'm gonna just stick to this one. You can see that even today already just slid lower, but kind of hit that this upside line if you draw it this way, and kind of now it's trying to rebound back up again. The only problem here is, of course, on one hand you would say that it's still above this upside support line, so we could continue targeting higher areas. The only little issue here is for now is the fact that it's currently sitting below the pivot. So of course this is a slightly bearish indication, but again we do know that everything can change during the day. So for now, just taking a look at the current picture, of course this is going to be our little neutral territory here for now, because it's currently sitting below the pivot but still above the upside support line. What you could do here is, of course, if we start seeing a break below this upside support line, the more important thing that you need to watch out here is, of course, this 200 EMA. If we see a nice good slide below that, then yep, further declines could be possible. The only thing is for a better confirmation of the downside. Let me just kind of drag one of these levels here. Just quickly bear with me one moment. Let me grab one line, and basically what you could do is here is, of course, monitor this little low that we saw here yesterday around the 833 zone, approximately there, or even actually we could, in a way, you can round it up towards the 835 just to have a nice nice number. But basically, long story short, basically if we see a drop below the 835 level, if we see the commodity starting to drop here lower, then well, brace yourselves. We could see maybe a retest of the 821 zone. I've talked about this level previously. You can see how well that played out as a resistance here on the 8th of March, and also as support on the 14th and the 17th. So yep, that could be our next potential target here, but again, we need to see that good firm break below the 835 level, and then we will target the 821 or even lower. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's go step by step on this one. In terms of the upside, and now the upside is also very interesting because of course, if it remains trading above this upside support line, yep, more buyers could start jumping in here. But in a way, what you could do is here, from the very short term perspective, you could look at this 845 level. Just bear with me. Wrong line. There we go. So the arrow here, but what you could do, like I said, is keep an eye on the 845 level, and let me just quickly put that on the chart here. So basically that marks the low of the 26th of March and the high, the recent highs, that high that we saw here, yesterday, of course, this intraday swing high, let's put it that way. So basically a nice good pop above this could lead the commodity towards the 860 level. Of course, initially 850, yep, hitting that, but if that fails, if that's just seen as a little obstacle on the bull way, then yep, it could travel further up here. Still, this line, if you check out excuse me, guys, if you check out one of my previous videos where I was covering platinum, I was also talking about this downside resistance line, and I keep mentioning it. This downside long-term, very long-term downside resistance line running from the high of August 2011, and basically this is something that we're also keeping a close eye on, because if we do get a nice close above this downside resistance line, and of course this could open the path towards the 878 level. But now if that gets broken, now this is where all the excitement for the bulls could start, because a nice good break above the 878 level could open the path towards much higher areas, and that could be for slightly more of a medium term to long term move. So continue observing this one. Very interesting, very interesting commodity, precious metal. Yep. So let's see how this is going to play out. GBPUSD. Now of course, the Brexit madness continues, and we do have, well, we're supposed to have a vote today, so let's see if it's not going to get cancelled, and if they're still going to go ahead with it. Today, of course, as you probably are aware, and if you monitor the developments, certainly today should have been this long-awaited day, and when Britain would leave the EU, but of course that didn't happen. So still, like I said, that's why I'm saying, so the Brexit saga continues. And looking at the pound here, you can see that yesterday it slid lower, it broke its upside support line here. This upside support line taken from the low of the 2nd of January, and now it's currently sitting here. It found good support near the 130.50, maybe just slightly below that 130.35, from which it rebounded and pushed back up again. So of course, you can see that I've got this level highlighted here, the 131. So basically, if the pair travels a little bit higher here but fails to get back above the where should I say close, maybe the 4-hour candle above the this 131 level, or even actually above this upside support line, then we could see another leg of selling. The next target for us is still the psychological 130 level, but to be honest, given the developments, I mean, we could see even bigger declines. But again, for now, we're just going to go step by step. This is going to be our first target here, the 130 psychological 130 level. Slightly below that, we do have also another good potential area of support near the 129.70. But again, like I said, initially we will target that, but only in this situation if we see a rejection here near the 131 level, or even the last resort could be this this upside support line, if it gets rejected here as well, and then we could see more sellers coming in again. But if this, let's say, drives back above this this upside support line and starts breaking the 131.60 level, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the bulls, because this could open the path back to the 132.20, and then of course we could start aiming higher again. But for now continue. This pair is, as I like to say, for now it's more of a reaction pair. So basically, it's difficult to exactly predict where exactly it would go, but basically still keep an eye on it, and like I said, react to it. Probably that's the that's the idea behind this trading, behind trading GBPUSD for now. So that's why, guys, be very cautious with this one. Always have your stop loss in place, I mean, just in case if this goes crazy, and keep your eyes on these levels that I was just talking about. So of course the 131 initially, but if we see a break above that, then yep, this upside support line. By the way, we could have the 200 EMA approaching this area as well, somewhere around here, so also could provide some resistance. And yep, if that fails to get above this upside support line, then yep, we could see another leg of selling. EURCAD now. EURCAD, of course, today we do have some Canadian figures coming out. The GDP, that's what's coming out, yes, and EURCAD is at a very interesting spot as well. So I mean, on one hand, we do have the weakening euro, but the CAD is not, let's say, the best performer as well. But still, you can see that it's currently stuck here in this little range here. Yeah, of course it's trading below this upside support line, but the only thing is that this upside support line is kind of a little bit of a tentative one, and for us, let's say, in order, let's say, to start looking at higher areas, what we're going to do here is we're going to put more focus on some of these key resistance and support levels. So basically, in terms of the downside here, if you see a drop below the 150.40 level, now this is where it could become a little bit more exciting for the bears, as this could open the path lower. Now don't get me wrong, I do have quite a big drop here, so in a way the pair could find some support areas somewhere in midway here. Of course, we do have the psychological 150 level. Keep your eyes on that one. Just slightly above that, we do have the the high of the 22nd of February, which was around the 150.10 level, something like that, approximately there. Also could play out nicely. It's also not far from today's S2, but if that fails to withhold, any further declines are possible. Of course, we will try to find a good potential area here of support, but to be honest, given this activity that we saw here back between the 26th of February, I do apologize, this level here was the 22nd of February, yep, but here the activity that we saw here between the 26th of February and the 1st of March, you can see these very strong swings that we had, so that's why it would be a little bit tricky to find a good potential support area here. So that's why I do have the arrow all the way here towards the 149.35 level. But initially, like I said, initially if we see a drop below the 150.40, keep your eyes on the 150.10 or even the psychological 150 level. So could be a good test. I mean, it could be a decent move here, about 40 pips, but yep. Let's play it carefully here. For now, like I said, the pair is currently stuck here below the below its 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, but above its pivot. So in a way, it also has a good chance to travel higher. But again, it's very difficult to also predict this one here. It might, to be honest, continue drifting nowhere up until the let's say the data comes out from Canada today. So that's why, guys, it should be coming out around 12:30 GMT. Maybe then we could see that a nice move here. But if it starts breaking the 150, 120 level, yep, we could start aiming higher towards higher areas. Of course, we do have this upside support line, which could get tested from underneath. But if that fails, then yep, we could see a further acceleration here to the upside. So keep your eyes on this one. Very interesting pair, and let's see how this is going to play out later on today. USDCAD here very quickly. Also, it continues to trade here within this little range between the 133.70 and the 134.45 area, approximately there. Yesterday it got closer to this level, but kind of failed to get above it. So still, we're going to continue monitoring these two, because let's put it that way. I mean, if we do see a nice push above the 134.45 level, this could confirm a forthcoming higher high, of course. But still, the next target here could be the high of the 7th of May. Sorry, 7th of March, near the 134.65. But if that gets broken, then yep, that's wonderful for the bulls. We could see further acceleration here to the upside. In terms of the downside, well, I mean, there is some space here, and up until this 133.70 level that I've got marked here on the chart. So in a way, if we start seeing this one dropping below this little area here, that's, of course, this is just a short-term idea here. So the 134 level, 134.05 approximately there. If we see a drop below that, there could be a chance that we could see maybe a further slide lower towards the 133.70. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, further declines are possible as well. But for now, continue observing this one, continue monitoring it, and wait for the news to come out. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to join me later on with my traders tea time, and that's 14:15 GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.